Man to man, don't tell me to shut up. You understand?
Shut up.
Don't tell me to shut up.
Let me finish.
Let me tell you something right now. Do not tell me to shut
Let me
up.
finish.
Do not. You need to watch your mouth.
Let me finish.
You need to watch your mouth.
Islam's ethics are based upon Allah's will, and that's bad. And if
It's bad because you say so.
Yep. And if
Ding, 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 ding. It's bad. Don't point your finger at me if you don't want it back in your face. You gotta chill, okay?
I'm defending my country from becoming
How? By burning someone's book?
no, by informing citizens here about the Islam problem.
The fact that you think makes you a mighty macho man by making a macho man by burning someone's holy book, by harming someone's beliefs and values.
Again, you won't let me answer.
You think that's okay? That's what you want, huh? Clout chasing. You just want to do something to check
Please
people's...
stop interrupting.
Listen, don't raise your voice at me and think that's going to be okay. I'm not one of these dudes over here. You understand me? I'm not the one.
I will.
I'm not the one.
I will.
You don't want that.
And
You don't want it with me. You don't want to
want
smoke with
me.
me. I'm not one of these people. You feel me? I'm not one of these people. I'm a little different.
Muslim, my wife, it's
Who? Who's your wife?
the Muslim.
Your Muslim your wife?
When Muslims, our women, it is okay because Muhammad was.
You're not a man. Really, nah. Like you need some more
times
dignity, bro.
most of the
You need
time-
more dignity.
Hey, most of the
Hey,
times.
don't tell me, hey.
Most of the
Don't
times.
tell. Hey, we could cut all this garbage off. I'm
fine.
not one of them. You understand? I'm not one of them.
Street Tower.
All right, guys, Street Dawah, you know what it is. We are here right now, Islam Net in the building, here about to meet this bum of a Quran burner. That's his title. Can you believe that he identifies with this? Like, this is how he's getting clout. It's kind of embarrassing. You can pop him right over there. Take a look at him. He's right over there. Yeah. Now, alhamdulillah, we here though, and this dude is literally responsible for helping us build this masjid. So shout out to him for that purpose. But we need to shut this down over here. All right, guys. Okay. What's going on, guys? How we doing? You all right? What's going on? What's your name?
Lars Thorsen.
Lars?
Lars.
This is Lars Thorsen, the infamous Quran burner. Lars is the founder of an anti-Islamic terrorist group based out in Norway, who has gained publicity by burning the Quran. Lars's act of hatred has single-handedly united the Ummah to help raise over $500,000 to build Norway's first ever Dawah Center and Masjid. This is the uncut, heated interaction between me and the Quran burner from when I flew all the way from New York to Norway to not only confront him for his devilish acts, but also lead a protest against his evil actions. Guys, as you can tell right now over here, people are protesting and they're not even Muslim. You get what I mean? Like, I don't even know what they're doing, but they know that they're against this type of racist behavior. So do you support this type of behavior?
I support these people's rights.
By burning Qurans?
Yes, why not? It is a book. Yes.
It is a book that is very meaningful and close to billions of people. The same way the Bible is, the same way the Torah is, and it is wrong to do it to any book.
Yes, but this is still Norway.
It doesn't make it right. So if you would like to stop the Islamophobia happening in Norway, then click the link in my description and join me and IslamNet as we make history in building the first of its kind Dawah Center and Masjid in the country of Norway. So click the link in the description and donate whatever you can. And watch this full video so you can understand this devilish actions that are taking place in Norway. Now, let's get back to the video. Lars, okay, Larry, so what's going on?
What's going on? Well, we're gonna have political stand here talking about the Islam problem.
Islam problem.
Yes.
What's the problem?
The problem is the tenets of Islam.
Tell me about them.
There's a lot of things. There's no golden rule. There's
What do you mean there's no golden rule?
the golden rule is a concept in all the other world religions except Islam.
Really? What's the golden rule?
It tells me to behave towards you like in the same way that I would like you to treat me.
So treat your brother, right? So you have to treat them with goodness. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. But goodness,
Yes.
goodness is
So loving for your brother what you love for yourself.
yes,
So you're saying that Islam doesn't teach that?
yes,
Well, there's a narration that from the Prophet Muhammad that says to love for your brother what you love for yourself.
yes, and
So it says that.
yes, but that's the important distinction here is brother, because Muhammad talks about a brother, aka the other Muslims, not humanity.
So not humanity.
not humanity, only the brothers.
Okay, so you're saying that this is only applied towards Muslims,
Yes,
and not for general humanity.
that's correct. And you could say that the proof that there is no golden rule is you're talking about the hadith. But if there,
We're talking about a what?
Muhammad says this and that.
Yes.
In
Hadith.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. But if there had been a golden rule in Islam, you would have found it.
But you keep saying this word of a golden rule, like that's just something you've created. That's not a real thing that you're even talking about, you know? So you just keep mentioning this golden rule again and again, like that makes it realistic when there isn't. You're making up this word yourself about this golden rule. Islam teaches, like, come on, think about it, right? Even from the fact when a woman was feeding a dog and giving them water, that allowed them to earn paradise. So you're talking about how it doesn't allow you to, it only works for Muslims? Well, that's not even true. Even if you take care of an animal, the Almighty rewards you. So what are you going on about?
And again, you're talking about hadiths, and maybe it's right that a female Muslim earns paradise if she is treating a dog well, but still she's not allowed to treat non-Muslims well. Because
Tell me the evidence for that.
the Quran says that you should, the Muslims are brothers, and they should treat non-Muslims harsh and be kind.
Really?
Yes.
Well, if I was supposed to treat non-Muslims harsh, right, then I wouldn't be having a lot of friends when I'm pretty popular, and I'm pretty popular with everyone over here. And I would find someone who's very orthodox into my religion as well. And if Islam was that violent and dangerous that you talk about, you wouldn't be standing around me right now.
I would, because you can behave differently in different situations.
How so?
Dualism.
But you're doing the same thing right now.
No.
Yes, you are.
I am talking about the Islamic doctrines, and as I said, there's a dualism here which allows you to behave civilized towards me.
So you're saying that there's a dualism that allows me to behave one way towards you and one way towards the other people?
No, it allows you to behave, let me say, normal according to my ethics. Now, when Islam is weak militarily,
Islam is weak?
yes,
It's the fastest growing religion in the world.
that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it
First of all,
because if it was so weak that you wouldn't be targeting it. If it's so weak, then why are you bothering with this?
I can answer that if you allow me to. First of all, the Islam is growing. Whether it's the fastest growing, that's an argument between Christians and Muslims, and I don't.
It's not an argument. It's a statistical fact.
Some say it. Other.
It's not some.
Yeah.
This is the world consensus.
Okay, let's find. If we say that that's a consensus, Islam grows because the Muslim females are just instruments to produce new jihadists.
So wait, time 1 second. So you're saying that because females are just having babies, that's the reason it's growing? When it's actually one of the fastest growing religion of acceptance right now. And Christianity, a lot of people tend to leave it and come towards Islam. Why is that?
The Christians say the opposite. So, and
Are you a Christian, by the way? I don't know.
no, that's not relevant.
Of course it's relevant. Of course, because you said about every single religion has a golden rule, right? So I don't know what religion you follow, but what golden rule do you follow which allows you to do what you're doing?
The human ethics,
What human ethics?
the
What human ethics allows you to burn someone's book that's valuable to them? But you don't even do that to a Bible or Torah.
because I am not the Judaification of Norway. I'm stop Islamization of Norway.
But time 1 second. So you're not. So you've targeted Islam specifically. What's your love and infatuation with Islam? Because you're obsessed with it. It's obvious.
I'm not obsessed with it.
Of course you are.
The problem.
If Islam is so weak,
Okay,
you said it, Islam is so weak, so why are you targeting the weak, right? Why don't you target something that's more growing according to you? Instead, you want to target this weak religion when you know it's not. Instead, you're a cloud chaser. That's what you're really doing.
Okay, I'll answer that.
Go ahead.
Islam is not weak on a world basis. Islam is weak in Norway at the moment because there's not that much Muslims, let's say 10%.
Okay.
But in other areas where Islam is dominating, Islam is strong, of course.
Okay, so the reason you're doing it here is because Islam is weak, but you would never do this in a place where Islam is stronger. Is that what you're saying?
If I did this in a country where Islamic rules apply, Sharia.
I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that if you're saying that there's a majority of Muslim area, not about a Muslim country, because it's debatable as to what makes an Islamic or Muslim country. But what you're saying is that because there's less Muslims here, you're targeting them here because it's less than 10%. That makes you a bully.
No, not at all.
Of course.
Okay, that's your opinion.
No, it's a fact because a bully is someone who, because they have bigger posture, they're able to target the weak. Therefore, that's the definition of what a bully does, and that's what you're doing.
I'm defending my country from becoming...
How? By burning someone's book?
No, by informing the citizens here about the Islam problem.
So why...
People on theology that commands you to invade and occupy my country.
So you're telling me that the reason Muslims are here right now is because the theology says to invade the country. Is that true?
It's true that the theology tells them to do that. But
So where exactly does it say for us to invade a country and just settle over there?
the Quran says that the whole planet belongs to Allah. The Quran,
Yes.
The Quran says...
It's all of the earth belongs to God. You disagree with that? You disagree that the whole... Oh, so this earth, right? The country of Norway or anything that has borders on it, it's because people have taken rule of that. But if you really boil it down, all of this, the trees, the earth, the sun, the moon, everything belongs to God. Would you agree?
You have to distinguish here between God and Allah because that's
Absolutely
two
not.
different,
Absolutely not. You're not only making an opinion, that's a falsehood as well too.
Okay.
I'm saying for God, if you don't want to use the word Allah, that's okay. But I'm saying, are you telling me that the earth and everything in it doesn't belong to God?
That depends on whether the individual, for example me, believes in a God.
Now we're talking. There we go.
If you don't believe in a God, of course,
You don't believe in a God.
I haven't commented on
I could tell you don't believe in a God because a person who believes in God wouldn't behave this
I
way.
will have to correct you because he said the world, the whole planet belongs to God.
Yes. The
regard-
one true God, the God of Abraham.
Yeah,
The God of Abraham, the main
the
God.
problem is that the Quran is quite clear.
See, you keep going back to that, but you avoided the question. Don't avoid the question.
I'm answering the question.
Okay.
And the answer is that there is not only one God. There's several gods.
Oh, so you're saying there's multiple gods?
There's the Christian God, and there's Allah. And
Time out. So you're saying there's a Christian God and then there's Allah, right? So is there a Jewish God?
it's the same guy as the Christians, except that the Christians are basing their moral ethics, their behavior on Christ.
Okay.
And
So what's wrong with that?
nothing. That's fine.
Okay.
But I wasn't finished to emphasize the distinction between God and Allah, because the Quran.
No, that's your distinction about it. The word, what does Allah mean?
This is the second time you're stopping me from.
No, because you're making something that's not true because you don't even know what Allah means.
That's semantics only. So you're trying to distract.
I'm not.
You're not.
I think it's pretty obvious who's distracted.
Let me finish. You keep interrupting me.
Go ahead.
The Quran, chapter 109, verse 1 to 6. If you read that, you'll find that.
Okay, apparently we have a Hafiz of Quran over here, guys. Yeah.
So it says that you have your God, we have our God.
See, that's where you see my friend, listen to me.
we don't
Listen,
worship the
Larry.
same God.
Larry, hold on one second, right? When you're talking about this right now, even if you're going to quote something and you're going to make a summary of something, you got to make sure you're doing the correct way, otherwise you look like a bozo.
Okay.
Can't do that, right? Because he's not saying you're God. You have your way of life and we have our way of life. And it is talking
We don't worship the same. That's what
The
it
word
says.
is deen used, Larry. It's deen, Levon. That's what's being used, not God. That's not the word that's being used over here. So you're putting your own interpretation in something, and you're literally looking like a bozo right now.
Fine.
Yeah.
But you could also say that the ethics of Islam
Go ahead.
is the opposite of.
Be kind to your neighbor is a wrong ethic.
That's the non-Islamic ethic. But
How so?
because the ethics of Islam derives from it's based on 100% on Allah's will, the Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So Allah has commanded us to be kind to our neighbors.
only the Muslim neighbors.
False.
we can,
False.
This is,
No, that's not a debatable thing. That's false. Because when the Prophet Muhammad was asked about who has rights over you and what neighbors have rights over you, he commanded almost as far as your eye can see. And it wasn't specified that it had to be a Muslim or not. This is your interpretation so that you can twist something in your direction, Larry.
anything. I'm just reading the Quran loud here because
You're not.
The Quran commands Muslims to hate non-Muslims.
It does. Where? Where does it command? Okay, several. So tell me one of them.
No, but you know.
Can we get his face just so we can look how ridiculous he looks?
I don't. There's how many 3,800 verses or something.
Just by quoting a number doesn't make you an expert, my friend. Okay, so you don't just have to say 3,000 some hundred. That's a sort of tactic they're using to sound more of an expert. Tell me those several verses that call us to hate other people. Go ahead.
I don't remember them.
But yet somehow you remember that it's something that indoctrinated within you. How about the fact that you have hatred towards Muslims? Why? Why so much hatred towards Muslims?
Allah commands you to hate me, and you
Really? Where? Okay, show me where.
And you have this doctrine of hate. Allah
Still hasn't told me where.
in the Quran.
Wait, okay, you say in the Quran it has 3,000 some hundred. Go ahead. Tell me where. You're saying it's commanding you to hate.
You know this is true because you know the Quran. So you're just.
So you're saying that I know this is true, right? If I knew this is true, I wouldn't be debating this about you. I know that this is a falsehood. Absolutely not. I wouldn't waste my time with this right now.
Okay.
Right now, you've done a
Give me time. I'll find it.
Oh, so now you're gonna Google stuff.
No, but I have some
He
stuff.
has his in his notes, guys. While Levon over here is trying to like look for this over here, guys, be in mind that this man is burning a book that he doesn't even understand himself. He hasn't read it himself fully. With a true, sincere heart, he's already here trying to make distinctions, but doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just pulling up his notes, trying to see where's verses where we're commanded to hate certain people, when that's not even the case. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ never preached that, never commanded that whatsoever. But you know, this man over here, you know, he wants to promote that sort of stuff. So we're gonna wait. Go ahead.
4101. Kafir is a clear enemy for you.
What's a kafir?
That's a filthy infidel.
What is a kafir?
A kafir is a filthy infidel.
You see, this is once again exposing the fact of how ignorant this man is. That's not what a kafir is.
That's fine.
No, that's not fine as in that's SQ's opinion. That's not what a kafir is. Kafir comes from the root word of someone who actually digs and hides things. It is a person who knows the truth, understands the truth, and still decides to cover the truth. So when you call someone a kafir, it is talking about the people who recited the ayahs of the Quran. They understand the language of the Quran. They believe that he is the messenger of God and there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, and still they deny it. That's different from an average person that's different from a person who's walking has no idea of what Islam even is. You see, those are different things. That's not a people of a book. You see, once again, you're proving your ignorance.
The people of the book, which you are commanded to fight, 929.
Okay.
Until we submit and pay jizya or are killed.
Well, if you live in this country, do you pay tax over here?
I do, but I don't.
You do pay tax.
But I don't.
And in the tax, they take you.
Islamic State.
Time out 1 second. If you're in the country of Norway, you're paying tax, correct?
The jizya is not an ordinary citizen tax. You know that.
What is it?
It's a tax.
We have someone who's in fiqh over here. We have a master qadi over here, a sheikh over here. Tell us what is a jizya?
It's a tax imposed on non-Muslims who live in a country occupied by Muslims.
What do you get in exchange for paying this tax?
You get protection from the Muslims, so the Muslim don't kill you.
No.
You do, and when you, for example, if you lose your job, you lose your income.
Where did you learn all these things? Like, who's teaching you these corrupt sort of like these interpretations of things? Who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? You're learning this from someone, huh? The Quran, the same Quran that you couldn't quote, and you made a different sort of argument behind it. That same Quran.
I can quote it.
You quoted clearly incorrectly a little earlier before.
No, you're trying to
I'm
mislead.
I'm not misleading anything. You guys can. Listen. You're being exposed in 4K right now, Larry. You gotta understand. I'm not doing anything. You're making yourself look like a fool. I don't gotta do that, bro. You understand? You're quoting things and interpreting things according to how you want to do it. The truth of the matter is, you want to spread hate. So if you're talking about the Muslim versus you, who's spreading hate? Let's really be honest over here. Who's spreading hate? You or I? You're going and getting someone's book and burning, or is it us who's doing that? You're saying that we're doing something, yet you're the one promoting hatred towards Muslims as well too. When did you realize that you were a child and you wanted to grow up to be a racist?
You have to.
When did you realize that?
This you have a bunch of questions, machine gunning questions. It's very hard to answer you.
When did you realize as a child that you wanted to decide to grow up and be a Quran burner? Like, did you have people want to be astronauts and engineers when they grow up. You wanted to be a Quran burner. Tell me more about that.
That's that's your.
It's like a child dream of yours. It was like you wanted to like.
It's not. We have been doing a political activism for 19 years before we burnt our first Quran.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
But you're not burning any other book besides the Quran.
We are stop Islamization of Norway.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's.
So you hate Muslims?
No, Muslims and Islam is two different things.
What's the difference?
The difference is Islam is a mindset. It's a complete way of life. It's a political system. It has its political system with
doesn't know what he's talking about.
War,
no. So what's a Muslim?
War doctrines. It's 164 verses about jihad.
Once again, you're quoting here, trying to sound like an expert. No. You're trying to number drop to sound like you're some expert. You ain't an expert, homie. Let me ask you this. You're saying there's a difference between Islam and a Muslim. Yeah. What does a Muslim mean?
Muslim is someone who submits to and follows the tenets of Islam.
There we go. So you're saying those two things are separate?
Yes.
How?
Indeed. Because
if you're someone who submits and surrenders to those tenets of Islam, how are those two things separate? You said that Islam and a Muslim are two different things.
Because the Muslim is made of flesh and blood.
Okay.
And Islam is a mindset. It's a political system for.
It's an Abrahamic faith. It's a faith it's a monotheistic faith that's followed by a third of the world. So a third of the world follows Christianity, another third is Judaism, and a Muslim population is a third, and it's about to be one of the leading populations in the world. I can see why that burns you.
That is not relevant because.
Of course it's relevant.
No.
Of course.
No.
You come to a minority area where there's less than 10% over here because you know no one's going to slap you for doing something like that, and you want over here.
This is my country.
Okay, so do a lot of Norwegian Muslims.
When I was
born,
when I was born, there were 0% Muslims.
And why is that better for you? Why do you like that?
Because I remember how the country was.
Yeah.
When we didn't have this Islam problem.
Okay. Islam problem.
Yeah.
You keep saying it's a problem when Islam is the reason this GoPro of yours is even able to function. You know that?
No.
Yes.
And
because the rudimentary. No, it's not a debate. You clearly are not knowledgeable enough. The rudimentary algebra needed to even compile this is come from Islam.
It comes from India.
What are you talking about?
But all these
algebra is it's a Muslim. It's a Muslim. No.
But okay, but that's clearly.
You are enjoying the inventions of a Muslim, and yet you are here to burn stuff. Is it?
Yes.
Yet your man's is recording things all had to deal with our progression. This world was in the dark ages before Islam.
The Western civilization.
True or false?
True
or false that this wasn't in the dark ages and the Muslims are the ones who brought the Enlightenment and Renaissance? Tell me, say that's false. Say and make yourself look a fool and say that's false.
And that's false, and I'll tell you why.
How so?
How so?
Because because you said so.
The reason we had dark ages in Europe is because the Muslim pirates were blocking the Mediterranean and stopping all trade.
Larry, what are you going on about, man? You're here literally trying to rewrite your own history right now.
And one other important topic on this.
Tell us, please. We're all waiting.
What we're calling the Islamic Golden Age.
Go on.
Islam had a golden age when the Muslims invaded and plundered gold in India and Europe.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, cool, because what did the Christians do with the Crusades? Why won't you mention that?
We'll come to that later.
That's going to come later.
Because it's a consequence of the first. So
Of the first. So wait. So you're saying that Islam was the reason the Crusades took place?
but now you're jumping on topic here.
No, because you're
Yes,
once
we are.
again.
Yeah.
No, once again, you're looking
I'll
like
gladly
you're
talk
looking
about-
ridiculous
I
right
will-
now, and it's being exposed in 4K right now.
You won't allow me to explain
Because you're saying like a whole bunch of things that aren't even true. It's not about jumping from topic to topic. Lars, you really don't make any sense. You're deluded in your mind to what the truth is, yet factually you're wrong. You want to go back to the time where there was 0% Muslims, and that's what you like the most. That's what you love. You just love the fact that this was a white place. What are you talking
nothing
about?
to do.
What are you talking about? It was safe.
Because Muslims are extremely overrepresented as killer zombies and sexual predators.
Killer zombies. That's an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. We heard it here first right now. A killer zombie, all right? Tell us what's a killer zombie.
A killer zombie is someone who kills without using the brain, just submitting and obeying.
Got you.
Yep.
Got you. So, would you consider me a killer zombie?
I don't know today. Maybe
You don't
tomorrow.
know? But if I'm a
don't know
Muslim,
yet.
but
I
hold
don't know yet.
you see, that's the problem right there, right? You've made a claim that Muslims are killer zombies. You know I'm a Muslim, yet when I asked you, am I a killer zombie, you said, I don't know you yet. Clearly, you don't know not only Muslims, our doctrine, you don't even know actually represent and spend time with the Muslim to understand what Muslims truly feel and believe. Because if that was in our doctrine, you would have been extinct a long time ago.
No. That's a dualism.
That's the dualism right there. Oh, so it's dualism when you want it to be. Okay.
No. It's when Islam wants it to be.
Really?
It's quite clear. This step by step.
If it's so clear, then why are you finding it so difficult to explain to us? You just mentioned the fact that we were killer zombies. That's what Islam teaches. That's what Muslims are. I asked you if I'm a killer zombie.
I'm not saying that Muslims, as per se, all of them today are killer zombies. But I'm saying that Islam commands them to be killer zombies.
Does it?
Yes.
So if I follow this faith, which I clearly do, why haven't I encountered that verse that calls me to be a killer zombie?
Because it's not the time yet.
It's not the time yet. So it's going to be in activation mode soon?
I don't know when.
You don't know? But we're going to get activated?
As we know, the Quran says when you're 10%, you are strong enough to overthrow them and seize power.
Okay, so we're trying to overthrow you and seize power. So what's the end goal?
End goal?
Yeah, what's our end goal according to you?
Not according to me, according to Allah.
Okay, what's that end goal?
That Islam should conquer the whole planet and rule over all people. The goal is not to make all people Muslims. The goal is to dominate the whole planet.
Okay, so if I were to say that Jewish people today control a lot of the economy, Jewish people are controlling a lot of the media, right? What would you have to say about that? Because that's what they're doing. They're dominating right now. So is that not in their doctrine as well too? Tell me more about that.
I don't know whether it's new to me that the Jewish doctrines, as the Old Testament, tells them to dominate Hollywood or banking industry.
Okay, so but they're controlling everything that most of the media and the banking industry is controlled by Jewish people, okay? So my question to you is this. If you're talking about world domination, it's them. It's not even us. We're not in that. If you look at what's happening in the world, Muslims are the ones getting beaten up. Muslims are the ones who are being oppressed at the moment. So once again, you found that 10% so that you could bully and do whatever you want again. If you're looking at it, we are the ones who are in the worst of conditions at this very moment. So what are you going on about that we're trying to do world domination and all that sort of stuff? We have our own issues that we're trying to fix ourselves, internally within ourselves. So what are you going on about?
I'm going on about the historical facts that shows us that when Islam forces its way into a society...
Force.
Yeah, force.
Force. Like in Indonesia, Malaysia, when Islam came by business trade.
Indonesia is a very interesting case because that might be the only country.
Was it?
That might be the only country that has been Islamized by demographic warfare.
Demographic warfare. Notice how you're inventing these really cool words, right? Demographic warfare, trying to like scare the people over here. It was business trade that took place over there. They saw how the Muslims operate within their business and they loved that fact.
But what they probably didn't love that much is that the Muslims couldn't let go. That they had to commit genocide there too.
What genocide did Muslims commit in Indonesia?
They killed at least 500,000 communists 51 years ago.
Okay, tell me, if it was up to you right now, how would you eliminate the Muslims?
I'm not out to eliminate Muslims. I'm here to prevent Islam from gaining political power.
If this is in our doctrine, and if according to you, right, if this is in our doctrine and this is prophesied to be true, then no matter what you do, Islam is going to prevail. Don't you think? If this is in our doctrine and we believe that to be true, right? No matter what you do, Islam is going to be successful. So why are you so against something that's already prophesied by God to be successful?
Not God, Allah.
Okay, Allah, but again, you're trying to, hold on one second. You keep trying to say that Allah and God are two separate things. When I asked you what does Allah mean, you were unable to identify and explain.
No, I'm not unable to do that, but
You are.
That's
Because if you could, you would have.
it's a distraction.
It's not a distraction, sir. It's pretty obvious right now. No, it's not turning. You've been exposed in 4K camera over here to expose the fact that you don't know what you're talking about. When asked a simple question, you going on about, demographic warfare and killer zombies. But when asked a simple question about our creed, about what does Allah mean, when I asked you what does a kafir actually mean, you were unable to identify this. Yet you say, I know it. Then tell us.
What you are trying to do is to.
Oh, goodness. What am I? There is no debate. For a debate to take place, someone of sense and logic has to be there. And I'm sorry to tell you, you don't meet those standards. So I'm asking you, if you knew so much, you'd be able to tell me, what does Allah even mean?
Allah means God, and that's semantic, and
That's not what Allah means.
That has nothing.
But that's not what Allah means.
That has nothing to do with.
But that's not what Allah means.
Islam problem.
But once again, you just keep saying Islam problem like it's a fact because you said it is. And that's called white privilege, just so we're clear.
Yeah, okay. You can call it whatever you call it.
No, but that's a fact because you're saying, because you said it's true, therefore it's true. I'm asking you, what does Allah mean? You said Allah means God. Right? But then you said God and Allah are two separate things. So, one, that's not even the true definition of Allah. So what does Allah mean? Do you need to be educated? Just say, SQ, please educate me. And I got, no. Now you said the truth. The truth is you don't care. You don't care to learn. You don't want to know. You just want to burn your Quran and cloud chase with your little bozo friends.
You don't.
That's the truth.
You're not very polite. But
so maybe tell me, what's polite? What's polite? I would rather deal with you the way you deserve to be. Time on 1 second. I would rather speak to you the way you deserve to be treated, right? Not this dualism thing that you're accusing me of. I'm straight to you how I'm straight to you. You understand? It's not no dualism. If I'm feeling something towards you, you're gonna